For the best calligraphy and lettering easy to follow tutorials, subscribe to my channel and be sure to hit the bell to be notified when I post a video every Friday. Hi friends, my name is Vial and I blog about calligraphy and hand lettering over at vialdesigns.com, or you can find me on social media as Vial Designs. In today's video, I'm going to show you my bullet journal setup for the month of August, and this time I'm going to be doing a stars theme. The great thing about the bullet journal system is that you can do it as simple or as creative or complicated as you want. So I hope you can get some ideas from this video to set up your own. And I'm also going to show you at the end of this video how you can have access to the free worksheet that I created, where I show you 5 different ways that you can letter August. I also have a full video where I show you how you can letter each one of those styles. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing is the cover page, and at first I wanted to do something a lot more simpler than this, but I decided then, since it was a stars theme for the month of August, I wanted to paint the background blue. So that's why I'm putting this masking tape around the edges so it's not cover on all the page, and then I'm gonna use some watercolor to paint the background. And I decided to paint the background blue just because I want to get a little bit more into watercolor, but at the same time I want my bullet journal to be functional for me. So this is a way that I can combine my creativity with my productivity. I'm using here a Winsor & Newton watercolor ultramarine blue. I will be putting the links to everything down below, and I decided to go ahead and paint everything, and it is a little bit thick, so I'm going to be adding some water to it so it's not as opaque as it looks right now. And I'm using my Archer and Olive bullet journal, which the pages is 160 grams and they're very thick, and that's the reason why I'm able to use watercolors on this bullet journal. Most paper won't hold watercolor this good, but these Archer and Olive journals are amazing, and the pages are very thick, so you can use pretty much watercolor, everything that you want on them. And also the pens that you use, they're not gonna do any ghosting on the pages, so I think that's really great, and that's one of the reasons why I love this Archer and Olive bullet journal so much. Now that the paint is completely dry, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this painter's tape, and this is one of the most satisfying part for me, to remove the tape. And some of the lines were not perfect, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna go over the lettering that I had done before with this Craft Smart marker, and I got this one at Michael's, but I believe you can also get it on Amazon, and I will put the link to it down below. And I'm just gonna go over the August lettering that I did previously. If you want to learn how to letter August in 5 different ways, you can go ahead and click on the link down below. I really love the look of this gold paint marker on top of the watercolor background. I think it looks amazing. And now I'm adding the stars to the page. And the only thing that I didn't like about this oil paint marker is that it's one of those that it leaves a little bit of ghosting on these pages, and these pages are thick enough. I don't think this will be a great pen for you to use on your regular bullet journal, just because it does leave ghosting on this page, which are really thick, so I can only imagine how it will be on a regular paper. I decided to add this gold washi tape. I have tons and tons of washi tape and I haven't used them in forever, so I thought it was a good idea to put them to use. So I decided to add a little bit on either side of the page. Now moving on to my monthly spread. I'm going ahead and using the same paint marker for this monthly spread, and I am just going over the lettering part and the stars with it. Now, I really didn't know what I was going to do with the monthly spread, but I decided to use the watercolor to cover all the squares for the 31 days of August. I like the look of it. I mean, it's not perfect, but that's what I wanted to do with this spread. I wanted to try the watercolor and combine with my lettering to create something for me. And I don't know, what do you guys think? I mean, it's not perfect, like I said, but I just wanted to be creative enough, and I'm trying something new with these watercolors. Moving on to my master to-do list, which is basically another name for my brain dump list, because in here I'm gonna be writing everything that I need to do during the month, or also I usually put any ideas that I have, so anything that I need to do, it goes in this list, so it's off my head and I don't think about it all the time. So I really find this master to-do list really helpful. In here I'm gonna be doing some blending with my Tombow dual brush pens, and basically I'm going to be painting everything with my letter color, and then on top of the letter I'm gonna be adding some of the darker color, and then I'm gonna blend it with the same lighter color. So you can see here how it looks like a gradient in the letters, and I really love this doing this with fall calligraphy. That's one of the great things about it, because you have so many different styles with blending. And another spread that I also like on my bullet journal is the goals page. In this one, I divided in family, personal, my business, and finances. And let me know in the comments below what kind of spreads do you add to your monthly setup in your bullet journal. This month I wanted to keep it simple and didn't want to do as many spreads as I usually do, just because I wanted to go back to the bullet journal system and make it very functional for me. But I'm always curious to know, what do you add to monthly bullet journal? What has been working for you, and what are some of the spreads that you stopped doing? And my next spread is my daily gratitude, which I always try to write at least one thing that I'm grateful for during the day, and especially during these difficult times that we've had with the pandemic and all of that. It gets really overwhelming to watch the news and see everything that's happening around the world. So I always think that it's important to focus on the positive things and being grateful for what we have, and that helps us to see everything with like a different perspective. So that's why I like this daily gratitude spread. It's probably one of my favorites that I do every month. The next spread that I do is my social media growth, and in here I like to track everything on the social platforms that I focus on, which is Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and now YouTube, and of course my email list. So I always like to see where I start and where I end in the month, and also make a couple of notes of what I did during the month to help me and also to learn from it, so I can get better with social media and promoting my blog and my business. And the last spread that I have is what I'm doing currently in the month, and I've seen that ever since I started doing this spread, it's been so helpful, just because I have terrible memory, and I like to write everything that's happening during the month so that I can remember, and I like to go back and see, you know, what I was watching, what I was reading during the month and everything. So I think this spread is really fun, just to keep track of the things that we do and watch, and also that I can remember the birthdays that are going on during the month. And last but not least is my weekly spread. And the first thing that I always do on my weekly spread is write down my push goal, which is basically the one thing that I'm going to be focusing during the week, the one thing that I have to make sure that I accomplish, even if I don't do anything else in that week. That's like my main thing that is gonna push me forward with all my other goals that I have. And that's it. This concludes my August bullet journal setup with the stars theme. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful and give you some ideas for your own bullet journal. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I'm going to do a quick flip through to the whole setup. I'm really happy how this August bullet journal setup turned out to be with this stars theme, and shout out to Diana Lettering on Instagram. I asked you guys to give me some ideas for my bullet journal setup for this month, and I ended up picking her idea. I didn't know how this was gonna be, so I'm quite pleased with the result. Make sure you follow me on Instagram so you can help me pick the theme for the next month's bullet journal setup, and I will give you a shout out here in my video. To get access to my free worksheet, I'm gonna put the link to the blog post down below, or you can go to my website and hit the search bar, type August, go to the blog post. In there you will find how to get access to my resource library. If you already have access to the library, if you have the password, you can go ahead and enter the password. If not, then you are going to put your name and email, and I'm gonna email the password to you. Make sure you go to your email and look for an email from me. Sometimes it can go to your spam or promotions folder. Once you're in the library, it's gonna ask you to put your password, and then you can download it and print it. Be sure to check these two videos. One, I show you the 5 different ways that you can letter August, and the other one, I'll show you how you can create beautiful letters using a regular pen. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share with your friends.